Hey, welcome everybody to the Sunshine Shoulders edition of the panel. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Right now, we've got one guest. I invited a few people. We got Rudy on here. I want to give a shout out to the NTZ crew. Thank y'all for everything that you do. I don't see anybody on here yet,
Has
but
heard headlines over and
they
over
will
again.
be here eventually. There's Frank and Lilibet. Thank y'all for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we're just going to. The subject today is in case of an emergency. Now, I know Frank, you probably got a lot to say on this. What do you do in times of an emergency over here? And but before we get to that, we're going to talk about some things, and it's all kind of emergency. By the way, uh, the first thing I'll say is I really don't know John's condition. I'm just getting emails from John George. He asks, "How's John doing?" I'm in the dark just like any of you guys, and see,
Do I
you
don't
have
see
to respect,
anybody on
you have to respect people's privacy. I mean, where I come from, there's something called HIPAA laws, and as an insurance agent, hey, somebody's got their YouTube on. Do you got your YouTube on, Frank?
Let me see. Okay, do you hear anything?
Okay, now I don't. Okay, as an insurance agent, I get a lot of private information. Well, I heard something now. Somebody's got their YouTube on. You got to sign out of YouTube with that link, or else cut your phone off.
Let me see, could it be my speaker?
Yeah, and I don't know any details on John's situation. I just know he's in the hospital. He did reply on my community page and told everybody what the situation was. He said he had a series of heart attacks, and it got really bad on Saturday. Luckily, he was in uh, Dumagetti already. But I'm still getting that. I'm still getting that. See, I can hear myself later on. Somebody's Rudy. Are you on? You got your phone on, Rudy? You got YouTube on. Well, that's you, Frank.
No, I've got. I'm
It's
disconnected
only you, Tony.
from YouTube. I even unplugged my speakers just in case there was feedback from my speakers.
Okay. Well, it doesn't. I can't hear it anymore.
I'm
Well,
on it
now
on the
now I
stream
can.
yard.
Now I can, but that's okay. We'll work through it until um, something goes on. Happy New Year, by the way, Frank. It's the first time I've seen you in Lilliville since the New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too and your family.
And
Yeah,
Happy
thank
New
you.
Year, Rudy.
Same to you, Rudy.
Happy New
There's
Year, Tony.
I've got some bad news too. This is an ongoing investigation in Bacong, which is right outside Dumagetti. It's like the first little municipality. Well, not the, yeah, I think it is the first one outside Dumagetti. A 70-year-old Dutch national and his Filipino wife, I think she was 63, they were found dead in a pool of blood in their house. They're investigating. They don't know what happened, how they died, but a stench was coming from the house, so they called the local authorities, and they found them in there dead. Um, so yeah, that's some bad news.
So
The
that means
exchange,
they were there for a while.
yeah, yep. The article was January 1st, so maybe it was somewhere in that last week of December or something. But the exchange rate is 51.09, which is very good right now. As a matter of fact. Yeah, see, I'm getting that feedback from somewhere, but let me see something. Hold on. Let me check. Okay, well, now I'm not. I muted you, Frank, on my end, and see, I don't have the feedback. So whenever you ready to talk, I'll just unmute you, both of you, when we get down to it. There was 33,169 COVID cases on Monday. That was a record, by the way, but it doesn't really reflect the situation here because the most of these cases are mild or asymptomatic, so the hospitals aren't even um, overcrowded or anything. And as a matter of fact, today in the paper, Octa said that uh, the um, the rate is actually decreasing. So things are really getting better. But let's talk about in case of an emergency. Just like John, see his situation. I've got $2,500 put away, but now because of John's situation, I'm going to eventually double that. I'm going to start saving to double that, not just for my health, but there's a lot of emergencies that can happen here. Do you have an emergency plan, Rudy?
Yeah, I do. I always keep like at least like you like maybe 5,000 or even on a rainy day fund just in case something does happen because I learned that the hard way because when my mom passed away, I had to dip into my savings and so forth because I didn't have anything. So now I keep savings plans and everything else at different places so that just in case I need them, I can get out of a bad situation.
How important is it to have an emergency plan, Frank?
Whether you're here or whether you're in the United States, you should always have an emergency plan. You should always keep a certain amount of money hidden in the house, plus also money in the bank.
Now, what about say, okay, because you're married with Lilibet, uh, have you set up anything where she can have access to the money if she needs be?
Oh, of course, her name is on the money. So on both of our bank accounts, our names are on the money. So, and plus, like I said, we keep something here stashed in the house, so that if anything happens, we could always get to enough money to even get out of here if we need to leave.
Yeah. Now, since you've been in the Philippines, have you had anything near an emergency?
No.
Yeah, because this guy Scott Bard says, panel, how much do you truly need for a medical emergency? Bare minimum, but what would you recommend? I used to recommend at least 2,500, but I think I'm going to double that now because of John's situation. I mean, if you have a heart attack over here, I mean, and your finances aren't in order, I mean, you can really take a hit. Lucky for John, he saved and invested well. I don't think that's what he's worried about. I think he's really worried about his health. What do you say on that, Rudy? How much do you say you had?
I have like at least 5,000 somewhere at different accounts. Actually, they all add up to 5,000. So they're all separate accounts so that I don't spend it all in one shot. If you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. What do you recommend, Frank? How much?
Well, here's what I have done. Okay, we have two bank accounts here that we keep thousands of dollars in. We've got dollar accounts and peso accounts. Then I also have money in the United States, in which all I've got to do is just write a check to be able to get money. So we're covered financially, no problems whatsoever.
How
But
far are you from a hospital? If that's the type of emergency that you call for, Frank.
well, here's the thing, to my understanding, here in the hospitals, you don't have to have the money to go in. but you do have to have the money to leave. They'll, from what I heard, they'll keep you if you don't have the money to pay to get out.
That's right. I mean, how close are you to a hospital?
That's
30 minutes.
yeah.
30 minutes, Calvin, from my
Oh,
place going to the hospital. 30 minutes ride on
oh,
the
okay.
car.
So where are you actually? Cavite? Is that where you live?
No, we're in Paranaque. We're right at
Oh,
the
okay.
airport. When you
Yeah.
land in the airport, to your left is Paranaque.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From here, from our place, from going to airport, just 15 minutes. It's very
Oh,
near.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Happy Hollywood baby? He says, hello, Calvin and the panel. Hope John gets better. Checking in for the home of the 2022 National Championship, Georgia Bulldogs. I figured y'all was going to have something to say about that. I'm glad that they beat Alabama. I'm tired of Alabama winning championships, man. He says, get those thumbs up. And Earlene Gobb says, wishing John a speedy recovery. Yeah, man, I tell you, I got that email from John and I was shocked. He said he didn't want anybody to worry. But sometimes, man, you got to let people worry to let them know where, how you doing and everything. Okay, this is Frank and Lilibeth's channel link, everybody. Lilibeth has a cooking show. I think the last video I watched of yours, you was making some type of pork chop sandwich. What's the
Yeah.
name of that?
Pork chop sandwich is Chicago.
It's Chicago
So
street
street
food.
food.
You've been to Chicago before, right?
Yeah,
Okay, have you ever heard of Jewtown?
I've never heard of
Over
Jewtown.
on Maxwell Street. This is famous. They have this little trailer like thing where they would sell Polish sausages and pork chop sandwiches 24 hours a day. Everybody from Chicago knows about pork chop sandwiches.
Yeah, I went to the last time we were in Chicago was 2017. We went to Taste of Chicago. You know where that is.
Yeah, that's on the lakefront.
Wow, you talking about food. Man. Now, George said it's not legal that they hold you in the hospital if you don't pay before leaving, but they do it anyway. Yeah, well, they're going to do it. You're going to pay. When my son was born, his bill was a little bit over $350,000. He was born premature. He stayed in the hospital 18 days, 16 days in the incubator, and I had to pay every peso before they unhooked him. And yeah, they've got an armed guard by the door, by the way, if you try to get out of there. Yeah, they're not going to let you out. Now, my first son, his mother, this is a true story. She didn't have money. Okay, when she had her first son, she didn't have the money to pay the bill, so she jumped out of a second-story hospital window. She unhooked the IVs herself. Sure did.
Calvin, you know that there's insurance, medical insurance in the Philippines for expats and so forth, right?
Absolutely. I've got Feel Health,
Yeah.
which people always talk about, but it's better than nothing. And
Actually, Calvin, the Phil has not all covered for that. There's a selected part that you can avail with the Philip, but the rest, you have to shoulder, the expenses for that.
right, yeah. See, I don't have a problem going to the city hospital and places like that where it's available. And remember, there's more emergencies besides health emergencies. But we're talking about health right now because John's in the hospital with a heart attack. And man, that I tell you what, that would bankrupt me. I've got about 5,000 in the bank. And that would probably bankrupt me if I were to have a heart attack. So I'm going to keep saving. But there's other emergencies too that you have to plan for. Like you may get deported. You may overstay. It's different things like that you have to plan for, guys. Don't come over here in the blind. A lot of us, we get lucky and nothing ever happens to us. So we say, oh, what's the use? See, I'm an insurance man, and people are like, well, I don't want any insurance. Well, you don't need it until you need it. Right, Frank?
That's right. But let me ask you a question. Did you keep your Visas and MasterCards when you left the United States?
Yeah, I've got an American Express, I've got a Citibank, and I've got a Capital One, but I only use the Capital One.
Well, see, that's another way of having something for emergency.
One, but I only use the Capital One. Hey,
That's another.
Dana, yeah, see, that's Dana with all that feedback. Dana, you got to sign out of YouTube and cut your phone off.
Yeah, my phone's off.
Sign out of YouTube. You got to sign out of YouTube, though.
There we go.
Okay.
Hello.
This is a new guy to the.
Hello.
Finally.
Yeah, this is a new gentleman
Happy
to
New
the panel.
Happy New Year.
So I'm gonna go ahead and let you give us a little background, Dana, of who you are, what you do, and all of that.
Yeah, let me mute this phone that's ringing in the background.
Okay. Jeffrey Chatter says, hang in there, John. We're rooting for you. That's the reason I put that basic information on the community page. I wanted John to get all that love, maybe that I know that'll help his spirits if nothing else. And no, Yusuf, I haven't been able to see John since he's hospitalized. He's 5 hours away from me. And I asked him, did he want me to come down there? If was anything he needed? He said he was okay. Because I don't have a PhD either. And he knows that, I'm here for him spiritually. Mark Crook says I would recommend at least 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. I hear that all the time, but that's kind of hard to do. If we can't even put away 10% of our savings, 6 months, that would be ideal. But go ahead, Dana. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Dana Middleton. I'm here in Louisville, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas, and spent 45 years with Chevrolet. And September the 13th of 2019, I stepped off the hamster wheel. So
Wow.
I'm a travel agent that's living through the COVID crisis.
Have you ever been to the Philippines, Dana?
Yes, sir.
Do you got any connections here?
No. My degree is in chemistry, and I work for a chemical corporation. So I ended up in Hong Kong buying raw materials, and so I ended up going to the Philippines. I've probably been there 20, 25 times. But that was years ago.
Oh, okay.
That was years ago.
When's
But it was long enough to get me infected. And so now I'm heading back. I'm heading back.
When's the last time you've been here, by the way?
Oh, man, the last time I was there was like 88.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot has changed, man.
Yeah, I know. I watch you religiously.
Hey, thank you, Dana. I appreciate your input too. I want to ask you something because there's a lot of people here who haven't traveled to the Philippines before, anywhere overseas. Why do we need a travel agent like you when we can do everything online ourselves?
Well, basically, what you have to understand is when you go through some of the online companies, some of the big ones, uh, you're paying their markup. Now, for me, as a travel agent, okay, what happens for me is I get paid by the hotels or the airlines. So as a client, you don't really pay me.
Oh, so that'll save me some money on a ticket then, right?
That'll save you some money on a ticket. Plus, a lot of times, since I work, like what's the name of your favorite hotel up there in St. Carlos City?
Mawani Hotel.
Yeah, the Marwani. If they have a concierge, I'll work directly with the concierge. So what I would do if you were coming in, or for any of your viewers, if you're coming in, what I do is I'll call the concierge and say, look, I've got some clients that want to visit St. Carlos City, and your hotel comes highly recommended, but they're on a budget. So I see that your published rates are such and such. How can you help these folks have a memorable experience at your hotel?
Oh wow! See, that's something new to me. I didn't know that travel agents did all that. I thought you just booked flights and hotels and rental cars, and that was it.
Oh no. We have I have contact with about, I'm going to tell you, a little under 12,000 airlines, hotels, rental car companies. And see, that's the other thing. The big companies, the big travel companies, they'll use the major airlines, for example. Whereas being an independent agent, I have the flexibility of using some of the smaller airlines, and the only reason they exist is because they generally will offer better service. Not to mention getting you into places that the major airlines will get you into. For example, I have a lot of clients that go to Europe, okay? And once they're in Europe, they want to go around and look at different places, okay? Well, the big international airline that flew them over there is going to charge people an arm and a leg and going to waste a lot of their time. Whereas every country usually has their own regional airline. And so I can book them with a regional airline, save them time, and of course, save them a lot of money.
Do you have a link or anything the guy wants to know? If you could put it in the comments.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Well, it looks like John Wells is on here with us, everybody. If y'all want to
hey,
give
John,
him a shout out or any good well wishes or anything.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had been ill. This must have been something sudden.
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
Oh,
Get back to us, John.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. One more before we go ahead and back into our subject. Is there a best day to fly internationally? Is there a best day to book your ticket to fly internationally, or is it just the same?
The best day to book a ticket is usually on a Tuesday, and the best day to take a flight is a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Okay. Did everybody hear that? Now, this is the guy who knows if you're trying to, don't just up and buy a ticket to one of these places. This is information that he's giving, free information, by the way.
By the way, when you're traveling, especially internationally, make sure that you adapt your sleeping schedule a day or two in advance. I remember you talking about when you got to the Philippines the first time, you were so tired you hardly remembered anything that you saw. And the best
Right.
way to handle that is adjust your sleeping schedule. If you can, 2 days, but at least one day before you leave, and you'll eliminate a lot of that fatigue.
Oh, okay. Now, how many of us are going to do that? But you can give us the information, and it's up to us to use it. But yeah, I appreciate it because I didn't know anything. What I did was I just got on the plane and came over here. Luckily, I didn't land in Tawi when I first came here. But that's all I knew about the Philippines. I knew absolutely nothing. Harold Till said, get some travel insurance, people, best option. Now, is that something you would suggest, Dana?
Yeah, if you're traveling internationally, I always suggest it. It's not a lot of money. I mean, if you're going to spend the kind of money that you'll spend on an international ticket, what's $49?
Right. Yeah. Don't be cheap, man, especially in the Philippines, guys. John Wells says, Jason Flynn, I don't know yet. They still haven't got me stable. I had another minor heart attack 3 hours ago. And you're on the live stream, John? What's going on? He said, dump them smokes, John. We're in the same boat. I'm kind of worried. I was worried about John going into detox because he's got that double-edged sword, the cigarettes, and the liquor. And a lot of times when you cold turkey like that, man, your body will shut down on you.
What's interesting about that, Calvin, is dieters go through the same thing. People who say, hey, I'm going to go on a diet to lose weight, and they start neglecting the foods that they have normally been eating. And that nutrition is like it's like a drug to your body. Your body needs that to continue. The best way to lose weight is just cut back on what you eat, but don't cut out what you eat.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's one of the things that we tend to do. We neglect ourselves, and then we end up wanting more of what we're trying to get rid of. It backfires on us.
Our body goes through nutritional withdrawal.
Yeah. Now, have you ever had any emergencies overseas, Dana? What's your take on emergencies, in case of an emergency? No matter what it is, whether it's health, money-wise, give us some advice, man.
Okay, I've had this company since 2007, okay? And I've had people that got stranded because of hurricanes in the Caribbean. I've had families that had a overactive child that's broken an arm or a finger or chipped a tooth or all kinds of stuff. Hopefully it never happens on a trip because it'll spoil it. But the thing about it is traveler's insurance, for the minimum amount that you're going to spend for it. For example, if I've had people that were caught up on the Dominican Republic when a hurricane came through, and the traveler's insurance actually paid for their evacuation.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's a no-brainer from now on, right?
That if you're traveling internationally, I don't care if you're going to Canada or Mexico from the US, always get traveler's insurance. It's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was one of those guys that used to skip that travel insurance. But one other thing that it does is if you cancel the trip, you can get your money back, right, Dana?
If you buy that provision.
Yeah.
You're an insurance guy, you know there are different options that you can add to your plan. And for example, if you were going to take a cruise in the Caribbean during the summer, you need to buy that option that you can reschedule that cruise for a later date. Because see, that's one of the reasons why cruise prices are so low. Is during the summer, it's the hurricane season.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. See, let me ask you something, Frank.
Sure.
You've been here for how long? You been in the Philippines? You said 3 years, right?
Yes, 3 years now.
Do you have a
But
doctor?
I had came back and forth here even before that, so I've been around for a nice while.
Right, but that's not what I'm asking. Okay, you've been here 3 straight years now, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a doctor here?
No, I don't.
So you haven't been to the doctor since you've been here?
Nope.
Okay.
What city are you in, Frank?
I'm in Paranaque.
Yeah.
Where?
You know where that is?
Manila.
Oh, okay. In the Manila area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be easy for you to find a doctor in the Manila area. And what I would do is the U.S. consulate, I'd ask them to give you a referral.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I wasn't planning to be here like this. Okay, I came here, and I thought I would only be here for about 6 months, and then we both would be leaving. And then the rules and regulations for trying to get Lily back changed with the last guy that was in the White House and stuff, and it became more difficult. And so then the pandemic came, and I had thought about going back home then, but then I said, no, I'm not going to leave my wife. So I'm here until she could come to the United States. Now, just yesterday, I went and put in my thing for my visa to be turned to permanent because I was on the temporary 13A. And
Okay.
so now I'm waiting for my permanent 13A.
How difficult is that, Frank? Is that a difficult process to apply for that 13A? Because I get a lot of questions about that.
It's like anything here in the Philippines, you have to have patience, okay, with any process because things go slow, and then you have people who don't listen when you're trying to explain something to them. Because you know the favorite saying when you go to explain something to a Filipino, when you try to tell them a better way for something to be done, they want to tell you, well, foreigner, you're in the Philippines, not where you came from. So that's what makes it hard. But no, it's not really hard. If you just have a little patience, it's paperwork. You've got to get so much stuff printed out. You've got to make 2 folders, okay? And you'll spend maybe 2 days getting it done each time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When you do the first 13A for the temporary, you're going to end up going there for 2 days. Same thing with the other one. It may be 2, maybe 3 days. Now, they've got a new thing where the annual that you have to do, they put it into a different section, at least here in Manila, okay, at the main office. And so you have to have an appointment to go over to that side to be able to do your annual before you can renew your visa. So you're gonna need like 2 appointments.
Yeah, I know that Iskandari Television, he's going through the same thing right now.
Yeah, because I must admit, I did get a little mad when they told me that I had to have an appointment to go over to the other side, because I'm like, I've been here all day doing this, and now I go over to the other side. They tell me that there's something separate than here, okay? And there's no one in there.
Yeah.
I looked in, there was only 2 people in there, and then they were telling me I have to have an appointment, that my appointment for the other side doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, you got to expect the unexpected here. And I always tell people that. You're in the Philippines. Hey, thanks for that super chat, Michael Onstedt. He says, great stuff. See you on the 25th. This is our own board insurance agent, because I'm retired. And he's going to be here in a couple of weeks and answer any questions that you got about health insurance, life insurance over here overseas.
That's
So
great.
That'd be great.
I mean, this is real good information that you're getting for free.
Calvin, I'd like to say hello to Rudy. Rudy, you're my hero, buddy. I've never seen anybody let more drama roll off his back and keep on rolling.
Yeah, well, he's got some drama going now with his online girlfriend.
Always have drama.
But okay, looks like we've got the Gail Forge with us today. How you doing, Gail?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. To a lot of the people who haven't met you yet, Gail, give us a little background.
I'm just a thug. I'm just a thug from Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yay, Texas.
No, I'm I'm an American living in the Philippines. Been here for 4 years. Married to my beautiful Filipino wife. We have 3 children, and live here in the same city with Calvin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're the musician, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Among other things, this guy he might be the smartest expat I've met over here, man. This guy can do it. He can do it all.
Well, you haven't met very many then. So that's all I can say.
But you said something, and I want you to repeat it here so the guys can kind of understand what I was, because I couldn't really explain it. You told me one time, you said, Calvin, I don't go out a lot. And I said, well, why, Gail? Explain that to us, Gail, why you don't go out a lot and go to the stores and stuff.
Oh, well, they call it here in the Philippines, they call it high blood. I consider myself to be pretty chill. But, you can only take, sorry, sir, out of stock, so many times. You can only take, the challenges, can get to you. Even after 4 years, there's times I really have to just reel myself back in and just put on my patience suit. And by the way, I'm not one of these guys who, is bitter or, frustrated with the Philippines. I always say this: we have a choice. We can live here or not. And by the way, I choose to live here. I'm very happy to live here. But there's challenges anywhere you live. It doesn't matter if you're in the U.S. or wherever. There's challenges anywhere. And living in a developing country such as the Philippines, you have to accept that there's going to be challenges and make a decision. Are you going to live here or not? And so when you ask me, why I don't go out that much, it's more or less to keep myself from having high blood episodes.
But see, the reason I wanted you to explain that, because see, that happens to me, but it only happens to me about once every 6 months. I have it up to here, man, and I can't take it no more. And wherever
Well,
I
and
am, I just really, I
you
try to
just built.
explode in the house.
Yeah, you just built a house, so I can only imagine that you've reached those limits a few times. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that there's another YouTuber that talks about first world problems. You know, I sort of agree with that mentality. You know, we even after 4 years, I'm probably still a bit spoiled, and you know, I have certain expectations. But you know, it's kind of come to a point now where I just want to be treated fairly. I don't appreciate it when Filipinos think that they can just jump in front of you in line. You know, motorcycle drivers, you know, when they just want to cut you off at an intersection, you know, those kind of things. You just have to just blow it off and just, it is what it is. But as long as I'm being treated fairly and, you know, that sort of thing, I'm fine. I'm fine.
One viewer says that you look like Fred Flintstone, Gail. Has anybody ever told you that?
No, yabba dabba doo. I don't know what else to say.
And you know, it's funny to hear you guys talk about people cutting in line. And I maybe this will help. I don't know. But I always find that if I'm in line, I usually will strike up a conversation with the other people that's in line with me. And what happens is when somebody cuts in front of me, I turn to the people I'm chatting with and say, hey, that guy just cut in front of us. And they see to it that person gets at least behind us.
Right.
Yeah, well, they definitely would do that. I have to tip my hat to this American guy. He was a black guy, as a matter of fact. I was in Moncton in the Gasano, the Jollibee, and it was breakfast time, and we're just standing there, everybody waiting in line. And some guy just walks right in the door and goes right up to the counter and starts ordering stuff. And he went up there and touched the guy on the back and said, hey, get the hell out of here. And I said, you know, I gave him a standing ovation, man, because I wasn't going to do it, but he did. Francio, thanks for that super chat. He said, what's up, Calvin? It's John Wells, Moonshine Shoulders. He is, Brian. We got Victor Iskandari Television with us. Give us some background, Vic, and thank you, man. It's because of Vic that I was able to watch that national championship the other night.
Everybody already know who I am on here.
Are you sure?
What's up, Vic?
So,
Hey, Rudy, do you know who Iskandari is?
Yes, he talks to me.
I'm joking. I know you know, Rudy. That's the damn coach. He's your life coach.
Yes, he is. He's the one telling me shit.
yeah, I get rooted hard. I get rooted a lot of tough love.
That's right.
Yeah, that's probably why he's having trouble with his girlfriend now. He done repeated some stuff he told him.
Trying to keep from making the same mistakes, you know.
Well, one thing is stop sending that Bitcoin. Stop sending that Bitcoin over here. I can give him that.
Yeah, I told him about that already.
He told me that already. He said, hey, quit that, man. You can't quit that. So I quit it. Oh, but I do have some information regarding that one if you guys want to learn, because right now the best ones to get, specifically because of the DeFi, independent DeFi places, is Ethereum, because of the fact that its percentage yielding is higher than Bitcoin. It actually will do 3 times as much more than Bitcoin if you were going to invest in that one.
Yeah, what's going on with your audio today, Rudy? I can hardly hear you.
Oh, well, okay. The thing is that I think I put it up on the what you got is on my main screen, and that's why the microphone can't pick it up that much. But like I said, it's like if you were going to invest nowadays, because I know everybody is down on Bitcoin right now because it's low. It's the best way you can put it in is that you can invest in Ethereum, because the Ethereum model is going to be 3 times as much as Bitcoin if you were going to average out the amount that it would go up and down. Ethereum on its own blockchain will outperform Bitcoin 3 times as much.
Let me ask you something, Rudy.
Sure.
Is Ethereum Max the same as Ethereum?
No, what it is that in the Ethereum blockchain, there's different kinds of coins, you might say. So Ethereum Max is another part of that coin, just like there is Ethereum Classic, which is the old version of Ethereum, the algorithm for Ethereum. So I actually invested in that when it was down low, and it's only $3 per coin. I put in into that, and I got a few hundred of those, like $300 worth. And then next thing you know, when it went up, I sold it back out when it reached up its peak. And then I got out and I invested into Litecoin. And after investing in Litecoin, it grew up too. Litecoin used to be only like $30 or less, and then it went up to over 150. So I got out of that one too. So Litecoin is also good because the transfer rate, or you might call when you do a transaction, is very, very fast. It only takes about maybe an instant, maybe 5 minutes or so, and the coins that you got are transferred directly to you in a jiffy, instead of waiting 15 to 30 minutes when you do a transaction on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I saw today in the paper where there's a class action lawsuit against Floyd Mayweather, Kim Kardashian, and Paul Pierce because they're being accused of being a part of that pump and dump with Ethereum Max. So you must have got into it when they were promoting it, and it shot way up. And then they sold their interest, and got out, and then it crashed.
Yeah, I mean, depending on which coin that you get and what happens is, like, usually there's a pump and dump, or depending on who is the one who's going to start it. Everybody gets into it, and of course, what happens is that when you do get into it, the transaction starts to build because of the fact that people are buying it or selling it, but mostly they're buying it. So it gets higher and higher and higher because of the transactions. And then, of course, when you reach its peak level, that's when they start to dump it. And that's the bad thing about it. So, but as you know, you can't do that now with Bitcoin, because the amount of people holding it, or the whales holding it, it stays at that constant level. Like, it won't go down anymore past 40K. So right now it's just hovering. It's just waiting for it to build up. Then it's going to shoot up again. So right now, if you want to get into it, you can actually get into it and hold it till it's going to go. There's another coin there called Cardano in the olden times. People are holding that because that's going to shoot up to past probably $5 to $10 if it were going to go any higher. Also, there were some coins that I went into early from Coinbase in the early stages, like Syntax, which, my God, if someone got into that real early, you would have been a millionaire, because I got a few thousand from that, because I got into it when it's only 225, and then it went up to over 40, and I got that one too.
Douglas Jack says, "Hey Calvin, I tried to ask this question 3 times. Are there vegans there? If so, what's the percentage?" Well, I've answered you 3 times, Douglas Jack. Because of the finances here, there's a lot of vegans, because they can't afford to buy meat. Okay. So I would say, yeah, they're vegan by default. But really, no, but really, I can't answer that, to tell you the truth, because Filipinos, they eat a lot of vegetables anyway. But if you're a vegan and you come over here, you're not going to have any problem, because they got a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables here. That's one of the reasons I love it over here. So, yeah. But, yeah, you got a lot of vegans by default over here.
They have no choice.
Yeah, they don't have no choice. You either be a vegan or starve.
I agree.
I tell you, hey Calvin, I'll tell you one thing. I'm bringing my wok with me when I come.
Yeah, that's a good investment.
I use my pressure cooker and air fryer here. a lot.
Yeah, me too. I don't eat a lot of fried foods anymore.
Yeah.
Every now and then, I'll eat some fresh fish and I'll let her fry it up. Do y'all eat a lot of fried foods, Lilibet?
Not
Lilibet?
not I prefer to prepare our food bake or just grill on the pan.
Wow. Yeah. Now let me ask you something, Frank. Because Lilibet's a great cook. Hey, Michael, Beach of Life, can you put the link back up to her channel? Have you gained any weight, Frank, since you've been over here?
Oh yes, I've gained about 60 pounds.
Wow.
Calvin, you
But
know that was a loaded
Calvin,
question.
if I make
Yeah.
a sandwich to him, I add more vegetable like a lettuce and tomato. So see, he always complained that he gained weight. So
Yeah.
She tries to make me eat 3 times a day. I'm not
Because
used
she
to
loves
eating
you.
3 times a day.
That's because she loves you, Frank.
Yeah. It's one thing that shocked me when I got over here, because you hear the horror stories, man. Filipinos, they eat over here, man. They eat all the time.
4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah, they eat a lot, man. And I'm like, nah, I just ate. Because, okay, I eat breakfast. I usually eat 3 boiled eggs and a cup of rice. Well, hell, 30 minutes later, she's talking about what do I want for lunch. And I'm like, well, hell, I just finished eating breakfast.
They don't necessarily eat a lot. They just eat very often. 5 meals a day
That's what you're
is
supposed
basically.
to do, is eat a little bit all day.
Yeah.
Eating a lot also.
My wife is the same. She's like, "What's for dinner?" I'm like, "We just finished breakfast. What are you asking me for dinner?"
Exactly.
yeah, you're right. That we don't eat a lot, but we eat oftenly. We just eat
Yeah.
a small amount of food, but we eat oftenly.
I tell Lilibeth she has a weight problem. She can't wait to eat.
That's right. What you got going on, Gail? You got any new projects, any new videos you uploaded?
Oh my gosh, a lot going on. I was just thinking, there's a couple of things that I'd like to share with your group because I think it would be important and as much as interesting. I just completed. It was actually approved last June, but I just completed my 13A permanent resident visa. And I did a video on the G5 family channel a few months ago on the first. You have 2 sections. You have the first year is probationary. You go through the process again the second time, and then that's permanent. I've finally completed. I made a trip over to Iloilo about 10 days ago and got my stamp and my ACR card, which the ACR card is now a 5-year card. So my advice to anybody that is thinking about moving to the Philippines, if you're married to a Filipina, go ahead and get your 13A before you get to the Philippines. It's way easier. It's way less visits to the immigration office. And it's, the cost probably the same, give or take, but way less hassle. When I was talking about high blood earlier, that's a lot of the frustration with traveling. Calvin, I don't know if any of the guys have done much traveling with inter-province. I know you went to Cebu, but I went through all of the hassle to get my swab test and was never even asked for it upon departure from Negros or arrival back. So, it's those kind of things. It's like, why did I do that? But yet, if I hadn't done it, they would have asked for it. I would have gotten sent over to, wait over here, sir. So I'm just throwing that out there as a piece. For those that might be interested, hit me up. The G5 Family channel, and then as far as another project, I just started a new channel called G5 News. Now, what this is, it's it's an American's interest in Philippines news. So things that are going on that would interest me. And so I'm doing a little 8 to 10 minute video almost every day that just brings up, you know, what's going on in the South China Sea, what's going on with the Bureau of Immigration, what's going on with things that would be interesting to an American, whether you live here or you still live in the U.S. So check out that channel as well. It's G5 News Philippines. I'll put the link in the chat. But but yeah, other than that, we finished the music video. We saw you bicycle by when we were out doing our video shoot about a month ago. We got that done and uploaded, and that turned out really good. We did a music video with our 9-year-old singing, and we hired a dance team here in the city and had a lot of fun with that. So, man, always busy, always got stuff going on.
Yeah, he actually made a great song with his 9-year-old daughter. I mean, I'm really impressed. I don't see why that wouldn't be a hit somewhere, to be honest with you, man. I mean, I really was impressed by her singing at 9 years old.
I think it just needs to be it needs to catch the algorithm. You know, it's been up for, well, we uploaded it right after, and it's at about 280 views or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's okay. You know, we do this stuff for fun. If it gets views, that's great too. But you know, we're just basically entertaining ourselves.
Okay, now George says, as far as I know, you can only start the 13A in your home country and finish the rest in the Philippines. We got 3 guys on here that say that's not true. I know Victor Iskandari Television. I know Frank, you both started it over here, right?
Yes, as soon as I got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine should be done. I just haven't checked on it yet. But I didn't go through all the horror stories like some of the other guys did. You know, mine was a little bit more simpler. It only took me 1 day to do that, and I got my ACL card the same day.
Dead air here. I'll just mention that you can start it in the U.S. You can start it here in the Philippines. There's no. I did all of mine, you know, exclusively here in the Philippines. You know, I'll put a link up to that video in the chat. But I do a walkthrough, you know, literally line by line in the directions straight out of the Bureau of Immigration website. So I'm happy to help any of you guys. When you look at it, it looks like this massive, daunting task. It's really not that difficult. It's just a matter of, you know, some common sense things. It's a matter of gathering some documentation, and then of course you got to make the visits to the Bureau of Immigration. Now, in my case, I have to go to Iloilo to the nearest district office. But, you know, for guys that live in Dumaguete or Cebu or the bigger cities, you're lucky in having an office right there, you know, locally. But again, I can't say it enough. I'm really and truly willing to help anybody that needs help with that. It's
something, Dana, because I was going back and forth with one of my subscribers. What determines the price of an airline ticket? Like right now, if I was trying to buy a ticket to the Philippines, obviously it's going to be more expensive, right?
Correct.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, you have to understand that airlines are businesses. They're not in the business of charity work. They're not in the business of doing anybody a favor. They're in a business to make money.
Right.
Now, because of that, you know, during the pandemic, they laid off a lot of flight attendants, a lot of ground crew, a lot of pilots. Okay. And so most of the airlines right now, it's not that they don't have planes, they're understaffed in just about every area you can think of. And so consequently, what they're doing is with the limited amount of resources, I'll say that as a whole, the airline business is down by about 30 to 35% in personnel. no matter what you look at, from the ticket agent to the baggage agent, pilots, everybody. And so consequently, with fewer flights, they have shareholders that they have to be responsible for. And so, you talk about your unwritten rule in the Philippines. Right now, one of the things that you'll notice is no matter where you're going, if it's a common route where multiple airlines fly into that location, you're going to find that there's probably no more than $3 to $4 difference in those tickets.
Yeah. So is it because it's low demand right now and not as many planes in the air? Does that have a
No,
lot?
not at all. What they know is they know that people are fed up with staying at home and they're ready to go somewhere. Okay. So the people who buy those tickets, they know that they're ready to go somewhere. So there's a high demand. There's more demand for flights than there are flights. And you know what that means. Anytime you have more demand, that means the prices are going to go up.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the reason I'm asking, let me get Franz real quick. Franz Prozio Jr. Thanks for that super chat. He said, what is the long-term visa application for a single man? There really is none, Franz. When you come over here, you
Work
get
visa.
in the Philippines with your valid passport. It's going to be good for 30 days. Now, before your 30 days is up, you're going to go to the local Bureau of Immigration office and you're going to extend your visa for 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months up until 36 months. They call that 36-month window a long-term stay visa, but it's not a special visa that you have to apply for like a SRRV or a 13A or 9A or something like that.
You
So
know,
once you get in here with your passport, you're able to stay in here for 36 months.
Calvin, I may be wrong about this, but in some cities, don't they have travel agencies in there that will you can go in and they'll help you with your longer term visas?
Oh yeah, they call them immigration services. They'll help you with all the 13A if you want the
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. But a long-term stay visa is not really a visa like a 13A where you fill out all these forms, or it's not like a K1 visa or CR1 visa or nothing like that. They call it a long-term stay visa because the Philippines has allowed tourists to come in here and stay for 36 months. When I first started coming over here, it was 18 months. They extended it to 36 months now. You don't
Okay.
need any help doing that. You can
Okay.
actually just do that yourself. You don't need any help. There's no special forms to fill out. Just that one little form that they give you when you go to immigration, and on it, they'll ask you, do you want 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months extension? And then they'll say something like, are you here on business or pleasure? And of course, you put pleasure, Franz, okay? Don't put business.
Hey, Cal. Hey, just to elaborate on that 13 Alpha visa, for people that's here that's trying to do it, I highly recommend that you can hire an agency that will walk your paper through the main immigration. They will take all your documents and do everything for you, so
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
what
have
I
to
was thinking about.
Let me
that.
comment. Let me comment on that. Actually, I'm sort of an independent, like to do things myself. But when you take into consideration the cost of travel to back and forth, in my case, taking a ferry, it is very efficient to hire one of these services, and it's true. Again, I'm sort of an independent. I sort of like to do it myself, but there's a sort of a balance act between cost and hassle and what it costs to pay a service. I have not hired one, but I talked to Gunny over in Bacolod City. He's got an American burger restaurant over there, and he paid 10,000 pesos, which is about $200. But when you take in all of the cost of travel and hotel and everything involved, that $200 is nothing. I paid way
Right.
more than that just in the travel, getting back and forth to the immigration office there. You know, it was like, it ended up being 4 visits total. So
Yeah, but he's right. See, when I found out that my ballot buying visa actually allowed me to stay here for 48 months instead of 36 months, it was one of those immigration services that told me that. I had filed for a motion for reconsideration. It was going to cost me 20,000 pesos to give me 3 or 4 months to kind of figure out what I was going to do. And she came back and said, no, you're here on a ballot buying visa. That first year doesn't count. So now you've got 36 months from the end of that first year. So, yeah, they know what they're talking about. And they have connections inside the immigration, the actual immigration. And they can even extend your visa for you when you're over here. It
Yeah.
doesn't cost that much. If you don't want to stand in line, you just give them all your information, come back the next day.
Yeah, Calvin, when I was in Hong Kong, it was still a British territory. And let me tell you, that's the way I handle my visa over there. And it was like very efficient, you know. And the thing is, you know, when you get to our ages, you know, time is important, you know. And for me, I know I talk about quality time all the time. That's what I'm looking for, you know. And the funny thing about it is, I listen to people that talk about being impatient, and see, you have to pack your patience when you come to the Philippines and a lot of countries. And I tell you what, I was in Egypt at one point, and let me tell you, nothing can work your patience more than Egypt does. So, you know, just relax and say, you know what, this is a minor inconvenience considering the benefits, and understand that you're not changing countries, you're changing cultures.
amen to
That's
that.
right.
I agree with you.
Well, see, here's something that you hit on, Dana, that I try to tell guys when they come over here and they're with a younger Filipino. And when you talking about wasting time, see, a lot of times she's in the second quarter of her life. We're in the third and fourth quarter of our lives. And I don't waste my time. If I ask you to do something, do it now. Don't do it when you get ready. I don't have the time that you have left. You know, you may be 35 and I'm 55. I don't know how many more years I got left. You may have 30 years left. And that's one of the things that you have to consider when you do an age gap relationship. They're on a different time than you are. And you have to make that clear to them. I need it done now. Because Filipino time is real over here. And they'll get mad at you because when you ask them to do something, in their mind is, well, when I get around to doing it, I'll
Yeah.
do it. But I need it done now. I can't wait. You know, see, I don't do Filipino time good over here. It don't work with me. I'm sorry.
And it's for real. You know, I told you, Calvin,
Let me
I
throw
told
in
you I was in a
2 cents.
long-term conversation and a long-distance conversation. And let me tell you, if I tell her I'm going to call her at 8 p.m., okay, she's not ready to accept the call until 9:30.
Yeah, that's just a fact. Go
Give
ahead,
me a
Frank.
minute here, Calvin. I want to throw in my 2 cents on this thing on going to do your 13A or doing anything at the VI. Now, I did mine myself. I didn't pay anybody because I'm only a 30-minute motorcycle ride away from the main VI in Manila. And it's not that difficult. It's not that hard. It's just the paperwork. And if you go online and print the paperwork before you go, Make a copy of your visa, of all the pages of your visa. All the forms are there online. Do them ahead of time. Then when you go there, it's not that difficult at all. It's really not.
There's a
And
checklist. You
just
just
say,
follow the checklist, and you won't go wrong. Now, I will mention different offices do have some varying requirements. Again, I follow things to the T. I've written contracts my whole life. So I show up at the office, I'm all excited. I hand over my pristine documentation. Sir, we need 4 copies. Well, your paperwork says 2 copies.
yeah,
Where do you need 4 copies? So we had to scramble and go to a copy office and all that. But they're the cool thing about the people there is they are actually very accommodating. And the Filipinos, I'm not really sure why, but they actually have this. It's an interesting dynamic where they are like thanking you for applying for your 13A. They have a great interest. Perhaps it's the revenue. I don't really know for sure what they're, why, but they're so accommodating and so appreciative, and they really do try to take good care of you. So
Yeah, Franz Prazio, what about the retirement visa? I probably would, if I was going to do a retirement visa, like these guys are saying, it's really not that difficult, but for the added expense, which is not much, I would let them do it. I would hire the immigration. Now, for something like a K-1 visa, and I did a video on this before, you don't need an agency. It's so simple, really. And anytime you hire agency anyway, you're going to have to give them all the information that they put down on the application anyhow. It just cuts your time in half.
Hey,
It's really all
Calvin.
they do.
Calvin, can I say something real fast?
Yeah.
Especially for us as Americans, when somebody says, well, you're going to have to spend a little bit more money, we have an aversion to that phrase. Okay. And that's our Western thinking. But in reality, what is $3? Okay. what the hell is $3? Okay. And this is the part of what I know all you guys that are over there, I know you understand. It's like, that's a part of that culture. You got to get rid of that Western thinking. And
yeah, that's a fact, Dana. And I'm glad you can bear witness to that. How many videos do I say that? We bring our Western thinking over here. It doesn't work over here. You're not in the West. You're in the Philippines. It's different.
for my money, it's better.
Absolutely. But you get used to it. You get used to it. Like the unspoken agreement that we talk about all the time. What's the big deal about that, guys? But I'm macho thinking in the West. We'll say like, I'm not gonna, I'm being used. I'm not gonna let a woman use me. I'm not gonna buy her anything. I'm not gonna take her out to dinner or nothing. She's got to put out first. She's got to prove to me that it's legitimate and all that. Well, you're gonna fall on your face over here with that sort of thing. I'm sorry.
Hey, Calvin, this goes for men that want to go to the Philippines or any country. Divas sleep alone.
Well, Gail was one of those guys. He had a lot. Gail was a guy that he was fortunate. He only dealt with one Filipino. He's not like me and Rudy. We had to roll in the dirt for a little while, didn't we, Rudy?
Me.
Gail came out smelling like a rose, pretty much.
Calvin, you know what that was. That was your Western thinking about there's always might be something a little bit better around the next corner.
Okay. That's for sure. A lot of that was, yeah.
Mine's different, Dana. Remember, I got mine and I put mine in the military.
Well, Rudy, I'm not even going to get involved with that. That's your world. At least you survived it.
Yeah, I know.
What? That's Western. But see, that's Western. I don't even know if that's Western thinking, Dana. Tell us why you put her in there, Rudy.
I thought you changed your mind, but I guess the military changed their mind thoroughly.
Rudy, you just didn't know her well enough. That's what that was.
Well, he told me that he sent her into the military so she would miss him and love him more.
That's right.
So he's gonna put her with 10,000 other men, okay, in her age group, and say, "Okay, honey, when you come back, make sure you miss me more."
I don't call that Western thinking. I call that stinking thinking, Rudy.
Y'all leave my boy Rudy alone.
No, this is Rudy doing this, not me. He sends me a picture of her new husband. I'm like, are you stalking the man, Rudy? Really, I'm like,
well, you asked Calvin. This is it. This is.
I can't unsee. I can't unsee that picture. And Rudy said, "It's this big black guy. He's about 6'2".
No, really.
I said, okay. So that's your replacement.
That's the replacement. That's the replacement.
Oh my God.
All I have to say, guys. All I have to say, guys, is when you're whether you're doing online dating, whether you're here in the Philippines dating, just slow down.
Absolutely.
Take a deep breath. Don't get too excited. You know, I mean, one thing is physical attraction, but that's 1% of 100%. The rest is you got to vet her out. You got to vet her family out. You got to know this person, just like any type of marriage. You got to know this person because they have a life and they have 100 people in their family. Believe me, and you're not just marrying a beautiful Filipina, you're marrying her whole family. Just, you got to understand that. And
Gail?
Rudy made his mistake. He learned from it, and hopefully he's moving forward.
Well, I hope it don't sound like he's learned his lesson.
He didn't learn from it. He didn't learn from it. No.
Gail, the whole culture can be summarized in just one phrase, and that is slow down.
True. Right.
If it's women, if it's food, I don't care what it is, just slow down.
Everything is slow over here. So I don't know why we want to speed up, but the women will speed you up. They'll try to speed you up when you get over here, and you're saying like, well, everything else over here is, I'm talking about, it's slow and methodical.
But guess who's in control of that? But guess who's in control of that? You are in control of that.
Yeah.
If they, there's red flags. If you don't know them very well yet, and they're asking for money, exit, move on. They will
speed you up because they know that you're the prize when you don't know it.
Right. That's
exactly.
true.
They know us a lot better than we know them. Filipinos are not stupid, man. They're smart, man. They're very smart. Right. A lot of the women that you're dealing with, they have college degrees. They have more education than you. But we want to come over here and Gail, that's an easy thing to say, like, slow down. But then when you see this beautiful young woman in front of you,
that's true.
She's trying to speed you up.
Hey, look, even my process, I lived in the U.S., I met her online. 5 months later, I came to the Philippines. 5 months later, she's back in the U.S. So, my wife and I hooked up inside of a year. So, I know it can happen fast. but I had some things going for me as well. I know I told you, Calvin, the story, but my wife had a sister that was already married and living in the U.S. I was able to interview them. I was able to ask them a million questions. And, you know, through her husband, I was actually able to get his insights on her family, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, I had a lot of things. I mean, I'm a faith guy. I believe that God orders our path, and I believe that God had laid the path before me. So, you know, 10 years, we're going to celebrate our 10th anniversary this year. And honest to God, I'm about to cry here. She is the best thing that ever happened to me. The devotion that she has towards me, even on the bad days, man, you can't trade that for anything. It's incredible.
Amen.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But a lot of us.
I got a question for you, Calvin. Being that I know
Okay.
that you've been around a lot, you find that it's different from girls in the city and girls from the province, from girls from the north and girls from the south. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Have
That's
you noticed
absolutely
that?
right. Absolutely.
It's a big
And I'm going to
difference.
tell you, though, I would rather see a lot of guys want province girls, but I don't want anything to do with a province girl because they're wild. Province girls are wild. And this is just my experience. It doesn't, I'm not painting them with a brush. My experience with province girls has been, I mean, they're wild. If you break up with them, you know, the minute that they see you, they clamp onto you, and you're theirs. You're not going anywhere else. And there's also, I'm talking about if she lives in the province full time. I'm not talking about because my son's mother, she was from the province, but she moved to the city. I met her in the city.
Right.
But because if you go up in those provinces, man, I got experience in it. My son lives up there. A lot of them can't speak English. A lot of the people in the provinces and stuff, depending on what province you go to, they speak their language, you know, and so it's going to be a communication problem. So,
Well, you know, I guess I'm kind of lucky, Calvin, because if you'll remember, you and I had a conversation once, and I told you, I said, hey, I'm 73 years old, and any woman younger than 40 years old need not apply. And the thing about it is, I just happened to strike up a conversation with a woman that's 43 years old. She's a widow. Matter of fact, when I met her, she'd been a widow for 2 months. Okay. And she works hard. But here's the interesting thing, Calvin. She works in Balumban, and she works in the market there. She has a business selling rice, and she knows everybody in town. And every time, and I think about you all the time because it's like, okay, somebody that knows what they're doing and how to get things done.
absolutely. Um, and you're fortunate. Now, normally, a lot of times, and Lilivit can help me with this. Isn't there a year waiting when a lady is a widow? Aren't they supposed to wait a year over here, Lilibet?
1 year.
Lilibet is looking at me like, if y'all, can you hear me, Lilibet?
Say it again.
Okay, when a woman is a widow, her husband dies, isn't she supposed to wait 1 year before she dates again?
Yes. Yes,
So,
that's our belief.
Yeah. So Dana,
Wait
you
for
was
1
too-
year before.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
The anniversary date would be July the 28th.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
But But I mean, she's already broke the tradition though. If she's emotionally involved with you, Dana.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
Hey, make sure you find out how her husband died, by the way.
Cancer. He worked in a shipyard, and some of the chemicals that he worked around ultimately got into his lungs, and that was the reason.
What you mean? Earl Till said, "Man, I'm tearing up." What's going on, guys? What is he talking about? Maybe he's happy for you, Gail.
That question that you asked, how did he die?
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're next in line, buddy.
Yeah, well, I'll go down with open fire, and I guarantee you that.
Let's see. He said Rudy's laughing too much, but he's not. Rudy's serious today. That girl's on his mind.
Because his mentor is on here with him.
Oh, okay. He better not say nothing.
Go ahead, Rudy. I'm not mad at you. But
what advice did you give him, Vic?
He gives
It's
me a lot of
X-rated.
advice.
It's X-rated. Man.
No, but I mean, okay, for any new guy watching that's never been over here, that's never dated a Filipino, what kind of advice can you give us?
They need to vet the females. You know, just don't take them on face value on what they say, because it's so easy for them to give you these little sob stories about every little thing.
you know what?
You can't be scared to ask the questions. You cannot be scared to ruffle their feathers and they get mad. So what? They get mad and walk away. Man, it's a million people. You can throw a rock and hit a pretty girl here. So
you can vent her if you want to, but I'm gonna tell you something. Your best move is to vet the whole family, because they are going to be around. They are going to be around.
That's right.
You need to vet her first.
Well, actually, I'll add a little comment to that. They're going to be around until they find out you're not an ATM machine. Once they found out I'm not an ATM machine, the family traffic slowed way down. And by the way, you know, I don't celebrate that. I would love for the family to come around, but you know, the truth is the truth. When I wasn't handed out cash on a regular basis, they stopped showing up.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I was telling Rudy, just act like you broke, act like you don't have no money, act like you had a serious problem with finances, and don't give no money. And that way you can truly find out.
I'll give you guys another piece of advice too. If they're asking to borrow money, it's not a loan. It's a gift. The reality is it's a gift. So if you loan cash, don't expect to be paid back. And I'm not saying that to be negative, not saying that to be critical, just saying that to be matter of fact. Don't expect to get paid back.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Frank. Now, I don't want to put you on blast, but you said you dated Filipinos before. What was it about Lilith that was different from the other women that you may have dated?
Her honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Her straight up honesty. Okay? Everybody else, you could tell it's a little bullshit in what they were saying and the way that they were acting. And she was 100% honest about everything.
Yeah. And then you found out that
it wasn't about money. She never asked me for a dime, nothing. As a matter of fact, when I sent her something for Christmas, told her I was going to send her something for Christmas, and she told me no, but I sent it anyway.
Yeah, well, you know, Filipinos, they have a lot of pride. Now they know their reputation. Filipinos have a reputation as being gold diggers, as being it's not a good reputation. It's not the right one because most of them will never ask you for money. So they're not going to ask you for money, Frank. They'll never ask you, but at the end of the day, money is at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just how it is. They're never going to ask you,
Look,
though, because they're trying their best.
let me tell you this, Calvin.
They're
Let me
trying
tell
their
you this,
best to
Calvin.
get away
Remember,
from,
Calvin, remember this now. I worked for the IRS for 27 years. All right. I collected taxes. I know BS. I know how people ask for money without asking for money.
right.
Okay.
No, that's
All you
not
got
what
to
I'm
do is
saying.
listen and pay attention. No, but let me say this. You see, you can ask for money without asking for money. With
Yeah.
men, we have a tendency to want to be the hero. So
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is bring up a problem,
Right,
and
and
a
impress.
man's pride and wanting to be a hero will make him say, well, how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Bing,
Think about it.
Yeah,
cha-ching,
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
cha-ching.
But here's the thing, though. Why would a Filipino want to date us and we live so far away? She can't come to visit us. I mean, we have nothing in common.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
But
other than
you can
she's a
come and
woman,
visit her.
other than she's a woman and you're a man, um,
See,
what else?
for me, I was coming to the
But
Philippines before I
hold
met
on,
my
time
long
out.
distance conversation. I had already
Hold
committed
on.
to the fact that I
Let
was
me throw
going
this.
to.
I've had Filipinos to come and visit me in the United States. All Filipinos are not broke. I keep trying to explain this to
Yeah,
guys. There
we're
are
not
rich
saying that,
Filipinos,
Frank. We're not
and they
saying
got
that.
visas and everything.
No, listen, Frank. But that doesn't mean that the rule is broke. Just because you're the exception, that proves the rule, though. Just because you've had women come over there, how many other men have had women from the Philippines come to the United States and visit them? I guarantee you nobody else
I
on
don't know.
this panel has.
No,
Okay. So, I hear what you're saying. And I applaud you for that. Because I can't say that. That's not the rule.
Oh,
The
okay.
rule is there's an unspoken agreement. You're going to take care of me. I don't have to ask you for money. You know that's your role. And I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
take care of you.
Let's
And
answer you
that's
some
how it
questions.
is. I mean, I don't know why people have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it.
it doesn't matter what circumstances get a man and a woman, especially a Filipino woman, together. That unspoken rule is part of the international language. I don't care where you go, a
Yeah,
woman's going to expect a man to take care of them, and they know what
Right.
they need to do to keep you taking care of them.
But this is
right.
the Philippines. This isn't everywhere else. For some reason, people think that dating over here is the same as dating in their home country. It's not.
No,
And
it's
we got
not.
to stop that lie. That's a lie. It's not. Those women are on the site for a reason. It's not just because they're looking for love.
But,
There's good-looking Filipino men over here.
Calvin,
Successful Filipino men over here that they could have millions and millions of them. Listen, guys, there's only a few of us. Okay,
yeah.
so stop with that foolishness. It's not the same, Dana. And I'm not going to put that out there to the new man who's watching this. The rule is she wants a better life. So she wants to get with the foreigner. That's the rule. Okay. Now, if you like Frank, you got a woman that got money and flies over to the United States to see you, that doesn't change the rule, guys.
Well, that's
Let's
my point. That's my point.
and now they got quiet. Like, like this is something new. It's not new. That's not new information.
No. I'm saying that was my point, Calvin. That was my point. Okay. In my experience and travel, women all over the world are programmed to grow up and find a man that's going to take care of them, and then therefore they have to do what is expected of them to keep that man.
Yeah, but the dynamics are different over here, Dana, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You're talking about 20, 22, 25-year-old women with old men. Like, how was your wife, Gail, when you met her?
Sorry, I was muted. We met online. She was 19, but she quickly turned 20.
Okay, but let me make my point. Okay, how old were you, Gail?
Yeah, 43. 43.
Okay. Just those dynamics right there makes the Philippines a different place. We can't keep saying it's like the same place like everywhere else. It's not. Because if you come over here thinking it's the same as everywhere else, you're going to get in trouble.
Okay,
then rules you got to understand.
Then I misspoke because that's not what I was trying. My point was the unspoken agreement is for real.
Oh, it is. It is. That's a fact. But we bring our Western thinking over here and we think there's something wrong with that. So people push back against that. And they'll say, no, my girlfriend's not like that. She really wanted me for me. Well, somewhere down the line, that's true. But initially, the attraction is money, it's finances. It's a better life. And for some women, it's a visa. Listen, I've had 4 relationships over here. 3 of them are in the United States right now. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think that's a coincidence? Is that a coincidence? It's not. Okay? But people get mad at me for that. This has been going on since 1899. We've been over here at least since 1899. And somewhere along the line, somebody worked out this equation. They said, okay, if you want my crusty butt, I'll take care of you, but then you got to take care of me.
Calvin, 3 out of the 4?
Yeah, they're there right now because, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you go online and you think that their motives aren't crystal clear, their motives are crystal clear, just like your motives are crystal clear. Okay, but we always talk about what the Filipino wants and what she's trying to get. We push everything off on her. Let's get honest about what we want.
Yeah,
and why we online too now. Don't put it all on the Filipino.
That's right.
You know good and well you didn't get online to meet some woman 8,000 miles away for nothing. Somebody told you something, you seen something, or you heard something. For you to get online and say, hey, I think I'm going to take a trip on the other side of the planet.
Listen, I'm a high energy guy, okay? And I did not want to be in a relationship as I go into my 4th quarter, okay, with a woman that has less energy than I do. Period.
Yeah, and that's good. At least you're honest. At least you're honest. I've got a video. It's called, because I try to address this stuff all the time, guys, because we want to penalize the Filipino for wanting a better life. You can't do that. Everybody wants that. But I've got a video. It's called Love is Just Lust, dressed up as a 3-piece suit over here. We try to dress it up, guys. We try to make it look romantic and all of that. But you know good and well why you come over here, okay? And then you try to say, oh, well, she's a gold digger. What are you? What do you want when you get here? Let's talk about that.
It's
I don't care if you're a religious nut. I don't care if you are thug. That's one thing we got in common. We want the Filipino tuna. Whether you want to admit it or
I've
not.
got to ask this question. How many guys were honest if they did put something online? How many guys actually said what it was that they really wanted out of a female and was honest about it?
Right. See?
I did.
Because I was.
Like this.
I wrote down
Let me tell you,
guidelines and stipulations.
Frank, let me tell you something, buddy. I did because I wanted to use the truth as a filter for who would be attracted to me.
No, but we're not saying on the profile. We're talking about why you're really here, Dana.
Well, I told you. I don't want to spend the rest of my life with a woman that has less energy than me.
So what you mean in the bed too and all that?
I'm talking about laughing, doing things together, not having to say, well, I don't feel like going there today, or, procrastinating,
So why the Philippines then?
Why?
Why the Philippines, not anywhere else?
Because I was coming to the Philippines anyway. I was coming to the Philippines for the economy, because of the economy. Okay, the woman is.
We believe you.
The woman was just a benefit. That's a bonus. I won't lie to you.
It's a fraction.
You guys are funny today, boy. I tell you. Oh man!
I will not lie to you. I was extremely attractive to 50.25 per US dollar. Yeah, that was my attraction.
So he came for the fraction.
Okay, Ronald says the Filipina is a gold digger, but we are a hole digger. Is that right? Is that right, Victor? Are you a hole digger?
Yeah, 14 years ago, I tried my best to run through the Philippines. Shit.
The Philippines is a gold digger, but you're a hole digger. That's crazy. You guys are funny today.
Yeah, man, I keep it nitty gritty. Rudy, no, I try to tell him that's what I'm trying to tell him to do now. Instead of trying to fall in love with every girl he say hello to, you need to get some running in you first.
Thanks, life coach.
But really, eventually,
I always showed my business mind the way I thought about making money, and that I wanted a female that was the same, that would think the same way that I do, that would help me acquire the things that would make life better for both of us.
There you go, Frank.
I didn't
but why would you?
I was dead serious with every woman that I talked to. I'm about that paper. I'm gonna be honest about it.
There you go,
Frank. Make money until the day I die, and I want a woman that's the same way.
I know, but the Philippines, that's not a good place to look for a woman who's good with money.
No.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's according to the circle. It's according to the circle that you deal in. There's different circles here to find different types of people.
Now, come on, Calvin, you're painting that brush.
Remember when I brought up about brothers bringing their golf clubs to go golfing?
Frank is the example. Frank is the exception, guys. I'm just telling you. You're not going to run in no type of circle. He's the exception, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, let's define it. Let's
most of the guys watching this, we're the rule. He's the exception.
Put some definition to that.
You can learn something from Frank.
What he may be saying is, and I know this to be true with my wife, is I won't let her manage our finances, but she is extremely frugal. So you can look at it two different ways. You can look at managing money.
Gail, but that's not. If you're somebody who's got money, and you're talking about making money and that's your interest, why would you come to the Philippines for that? That's not the place you come to, right?
No, you can't. You can't expect that. No.
You can't expect that here. That's all
I'm not coming to the Philippines to make money. Listen, I'm not coming to the Philippines to make money. I run my travel business because so I can have something to do. Okay. And I'll be, somebody said I was lying. Let me tell you, I have a pension and I get Social Security, and that's enough for me to live on, even if I didn't do this travel business. But I got to have something to do. And I want to go to the Philippines. I had decided I was interested in the Philippines or St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. And inflation is kicking the Virgin Islands a new one. So the Philippines became an obvious second choice. And then I bumped into Calvin one night online, and the rest is history,
Yeah, but we're not picking on you guys. It's your business why you come here. It's not none of my business why y'all came, and nothing that you're saying is wrong. We're just getting people's different perspectives. Everybody has a different perspective.
Well, that's mine.
And I'm glad that you guys are on here to say, hey, look, there are guys out there who aren't chasing booty when they come over here. Okay? Because the majority of people that come over to the Philippines, they're chasing young women. I'm sorry. Okay, that's just how it is. All right. Now,
I wasn't chasing it, Calvin, but I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I know. Now, to be honest with you, when I came over here, I was in a bad state of mind in 2009. I was trying to get away from the divorce. A woman wasn't my focus, but once I got over here and saw what was over here and everything and how things worked, it became my number one focus. I just give you my perspective. It's not the same as everybody else's.
Absolutely.
What I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. Very few guys come over here to start a business. Very few guys come over here to meet women to help with their finances. Most men come over here because they have a high chance of meeting a beautiful young lady. That's why they come here.
And at our ages, what chances do we have in the States, for example?
Right. Yeah, but just be honest, though.
Yeah, well, I am.
Yeah. And,
Zero.
that's all I'm saying, because your time over here is going to be better. Listen, I don't care why you come over here. When they see you over here, they're going to think that's why you're here. So if you know why you're here, it's going to make your conscience, you have a freer conscience. You're like, okay, well, because it doesn't matter why you're here. They dump us all into one basket anyhow, So it's best that you do kind of be true to yourself and say, well,
I feel like there's two types. There's the guy like me that wanted to find a wife. I mean, just saying it plain. I wanted to find a wife. And then there's the guy that just wants to have fun. So you need to decide which one you are, and then base your methodology, your tact on that premise. Decide which guy you are.
Why the Philippines? Why not Colombia, Brazil, America? Why not Mexico? Why the Philippines? Was it something you seen? Somebody told you? Something you heard? Why the Philippines?
Well, my story. I was a friend of mine, more or less influenced me this direction. But now that I'm 10, 12 years into this, for me, it's the culture between, North America, South America versus Southeast Asia is just different. And more, I don't want to say it's better, but it's just more to my liking. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. And
hey, Calvin, you're the reason I'm coming, okay? Your influence tipped the scale. That and inflation in the Caribbean, that's why I'm coming. Okay?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just so glad I'm here, man. I don't want
Me
to
too.
argue with people, man. I'm just giving you my perspective. Vic, what's your perspective? Okay, why did you pick the Philippines?
Cause I knew what it was. And in 10 years, I've been married for 11 years. So when I first came here a long time ago, I knew what it was about and what to do and all that stuff. When I flew here, my first time flying here, I hit the ground running from the airplane. I was
Yeah,
handing out my number and email address. And, hey, so it is what it is. I know what I
it is
came here
what it
for.
is.
Listen,
Yeah.
everybody on this panel is gotta admit it's love at first sight. As
What
soon
love?
as you get to the Philippines and you
What
smell
love?
that air and
What
you
love?
see all these happy people, you
What
want a
love?
piece of that. You
What
want
That's
a
love?
right.
piece of that.
What no
I
love,
agree.
bro? No
But
love.
it's a different dynamic over here. But remember, guys, we didn't make the rules. You
Mhm.
can't blame
Yeah.
yourself. Okay, if I'm a business, okay, and I decide, you know what, I'm going to move my business to the Philippines because the labor is cheaper, the cost of doing business is cheaper, and the profits are going to be higher. You're going to tell me I'm a genius. But if I do it for myself for those same reasons, then I'm a sexpat. There's something wrong with me. I'm weird. No,
Right.
guys, those are the rules over here, and that's why a lot of men come over here. It's like, hey, if I can, why not have a beautiful 25-year-old woman who's going to love me unconditionally after she gets to know me?
As long as you get
Okay,
the right one.
I can have the best of both worlds.
Just
Why
be
Yeah.
stay
true to
over
yourself.
there?
Yeah.
Just be
But,
true to yourself.
but what we do is we look
Let
stupid
me
when we try to lie to ourselves about why we're here. Well, you don't come over here. The Philippines is the worst place to come if you're looking to invest money or something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take
Yep.
financial advice from nobody over here unless it was the guy who owns SM Mall or Ayala Mall or Willie Revillame or the Marcos family. Now, those people
Well,
I would take financial advice from. But from
hey,
some woman I met online, I wouldn't take no financial advice from. I wouldn't
yeah.
do it.
I can say,
okay.
Kevin, since I have
Let
my
me
online
let me
business,
go
my
into
e-commerce
this.
business, it's cheaper to have all of my employees are from here. So for that is a big benefit of me doing that, having my business and online, and I can hire my people from here to all my VA assistants and stuff like that. So for me, it's a little bit better.
Exactly.
Calvin,
We
Calvin, let
didn't
me
make
tell
the
you
rules.
something.
We're just taking advantage of the benefits.
Hmm.
That's all.
Yeah,
This is a working man's paradise. In America, it's for rich people now, basically. That's their playground over there, America and places like that. But the Philippines is like a playground for the working man. I'm sorry, I didn't make the rules, guys.
Hmm.
He's right.
Let me say
He's
this
right.
one thing. This is a very good place. If you want to find a female that's gonna stick by you, listen to you, all right? And if you lay down what it is that you're trying to do and what you want to do and the benefits that she's gonna get by following you, okay? If you're about making money and you let a woman know that's what you're about and that she wants to go along for the ride, all right, to become rich, okay? I can make you rich. Let me show you how it's done. I can give you love. I got your back, okay? It's hard to find that in the United States, okay?
Right,
Right.
A lot of our
right.
women are hard headed. They don't want to listen to
Hello?
anything. You can work your behind off and be 100% true to them,
I can't hear you.
and you can't get
Is your
them
lip
to
still
stick
puffy?
by
Yeah.
your side. They always want to think that the grass is greener on the other side. Now
Hmm.
that's
I
my
agree
experience.
100.
But the
I agree
women here,
100%.
if you
I agree
show them
100%.
loyalty, they show you loyalty back.
Yep.
Yeah, I
That
agree
is
with you
true.
100%. But female is the key word. That's the first word came out of your mouth. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're exactly right. You know, uh, Filipinos are very cooperative. They make great partners if you find the right one. We're talking about slowing down, finding the right one.
One.
You can't just come
Hey,
over
Calvin.
here and off the plane and think,
I want to
this is the one. If you find the
Christoph.
right one, I'm going to say it's probably not a better partner in the world. That's going to be cooperative. That's going to work right beside you. That's not going to try to take the wheel while you're driving.
Yeah.
Yes,
I wanted
yes.
I want to respond to a comment Christoph just put in the comments. He said he doesn't want to raise somebody else's daughter. Listen, when we got married, she was 21. She's 30 now. The truth is, she's more mature at a 20-year-old, 30-year-old than American women are in their 30s and 40s, in my opinion. Now, I may catch some flack. I may catch some flack from that, but the culture here, you grow up fast. The kids grow up fast. They have to accept responsibility. They're working and taking care of their families before they hit 20 years old. And so they grow up quick. They have a lot of maturity compared to American kids. I mean, I'll even lump American boys into that. As American kids, we grow up spoiled. Everything is handed to us. It's not like that here in the Philippines.
You know why we call children kids, Calvin?
No, why?
Because a kid is a baby goat. Hard-headed.
Hard-headed. Yeah. Well, that's what my friend told me. He said, don't call your children kids. He said, because kids are baby goats. So I've gotten away from that. But whatever reason you come over here, there's many reasons to come over here. I say have a plan for emergencies, a plan for your life when you get here, whatever that is. But just be true to yourself. And that's the reason why I've been so happy here. I don't have anything to prove to anybody, but if somebody asks me, I'll tell them. I'm not the same guy in 2009 as I am in 2022. My whole thinking has changed. Okay.
Calvin, this world is spinning, and people who don't change get left behind.
Right.
And I don't come on here to say things that I know people are going to agree with. The truth hurts, and people don't like to hear the truth. They rather just sweep it under the rug and go on about their business. But there's some truth that you have to swallow over here. You're in the Philippines, man. You're not in the West. You're not in America, England, France, and all that stuff, man. Women do grow up. They're forced to grow up a lot sooner than they are at home. My girlfriend in there right now, when she was 11, man, she had to take care of her family. Her mother was in Manila working. I'm talking about at 11 years old, she had to go out to find the food for the rice, to wash the clothes, to stay after school and do certain things to earn extra money. At 11 years old, man, you
Responsibilities. Responsibilities.
This is a different place over here, guys. And if you think it's the same when you come over here, you're going to be in trouble.
Calvin, one of the most fascinating things about watching your program, your blog, is the fact that you were giving boots on the ground experience. And so many of your readers or listeners who have never been to the Philippines are going to give you opinions. And it cracks me up. It cracks me up. Well, they should do this. Really? How would you know?
I don't do it how can you argue with somebody's opinion or somebody's perspective? You can't do it. But I get pushed back. I'm like, man, I'm living this. I'm just putting it on the YouTube, but this is what I'm living. How are you going to argue with me about it? I showed them, I took y'all from the first cocoa lumber stick, building my house, all the way to the end, right?
Yeah.
People are still asking me, well, how much did you spend on that house? Are you sure you only spent a million? Yeah, I told you that 6 months ago.
I'll be right back.
The house. Why are you still pushing back on that?
Amazing.
Rudy, you quiet over there, man. What you doing? Investing Bitcoin?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm talking to Iskandari on the side, so he's giving me life coach advice.
Yeah, because I just
About
kind
that
of find
money.
it strange that hardly any of my friends or people I know over here, they come over here and date somebody their own age. That's very rare.
Hey, Calvin, I've got a treat for your audience here. Tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that?
No, we can't hear it.
Okay, maybe I don't know what I'm doing here.
What is it? What is it?
He said that a young woman put John in the hospital. Now, John put John in the hospital.
Doesn't seem to be working. Go ahead. Continue. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead. He said, if you admit they grow up quicker, does that make them more responsible? In a lot of ways, it does, Moochie T, because they're taking on responsibilities of an adult. If I would have left I've got a 10-year-old son. If I left him to his own devices, he probably wouldn't make it. Because he doesn't have that hunger. He's not pushed up against the wall. His back's not against the wall where he has to go out and earn a living. 11 years old. Where do you live, Moochie T? Tell me what 11-year-olds are doing over where you live.
Hey, in the Philippines, an 11-year-old knows the alternatives.
Yeah, I'm just saying, life is forced on them in a lot of cases. Not everybody, but in a lot of cases, life is forced on them at an earlier age.
Yeah.
At 11 years old, there's no way, man, I could have done half the stuff. I wouldn't have slept in a house by myself at 11 years old. She was sleeping she was the one taking care of an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. At 11 years old, man, come on, Dad. This ain't America. I'm sorry. That's outstanding, by the way, to me.
Absolutely.
That's why they call her the vice mayor in this city right now, because she gets things done. If I need something done, not only does she know who can do it for me, she knows where to find the people. That's important to me.
Me too.
Okay,
Hey, Calvin, where did the Temptations say beauty's only skin deep?
Yeah. And ugliness is to the bone. And, but I'm glad you said that, because a lot of us, we're fixated on looks over here.
Yep.
We end up with the wrong woman. Some of the best women over here are not the nicest looking women. You should really know what you want before you get here. If you're just looking for looks and a nice body, then you're probably going to strike out the first few times, like me. But if you're like Frank and you know in your mind the type of woman you look for, you don't have to roll around in the dirt as much as me. And you'll end up with a woman like Lilibet. See?
One thing I like about my long distance conversation person is she wears no makeup. She's completely natural. Okay. And that's what part of what I was looking for. Okay?
Careful with that natural business.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, Gail.
Careful with that natural.
Brother is 73 years old. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I'm shocked that Vic is so quiet, man. Is your wife sitting next to you, Vic?
Oh, I'm upstairs, man, in my little office. No, she's downstairs.
Yeah,
I'm just
I mean,
listening.
for a young guy, because a comment was made. It said, "Why don't more young men visit the Philippines?" And I just said, you know, their man is somewhere else. They still
Mhm.
think that they haven't had enough life experiences really
Calvin,
to weigh anything up against. They still think that wherever they are is the best place for them.
Right.
They haven't run out of options yet.
can I
Mhm.
pose a question?
I was down to my last option when I got here.
Yeah.
Calvin, can I
I
pose a
mean,
question?
I chose to come and stay here and live here. You know, I mean, I didn't have to, but I chose to come and stay. You know, because I know it makes my wife happy to be here and to be close to the family. So
Yeah.
for me, okay, because most of my stuff is online anyway. So for me, it didn't change anything.
Calvin,
Hey, young men are not old enough to understand change. They fear change. They fear the different. Okay. Oh, let's do this. This is different. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. Well, of course you don't know. Until you try, you'll never know.
Calvin, can
Yeah.
I
That,
pose,
yeah.
can
Go
I
ahead,
pose a
Rudy.
question? Well, okay. I was thinking about this and said, I was talking aside with Victor there, and I said to him regarding this, will the mindset of a Filipino change because they're financially
Are you
secure
finished?
in their job or anything else?
Both your hands and your nails. Okay. Now say it again, Rudy. I'm sorry, my girlfriend was talking to me. Say it again.
Okay, okay, here. This is the question. Okay, as you know, what you call you said that money is important to a Filipino or I mean, so that they can take him away from that situation that they're having at, right? What if
I
the
didn't hear you.
Filipino,
Wait. Say, slow down,
okay, what if the
Rudy.
Filipina is financially secure in her job? Will her mindset change in her opinion of you and the relationship?
I don't. Well, that's not my experience. I can't talk on that. See, I've never met a Filipino over here that was financially secure. So that would only be giving you my opinion. I really don't like to do that. I like to
Mhm.
give you my boots on the ground experience.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's
Now,
the reason though that she's online. I don't care how
Mhm.
much money she got, how much education she got. If she's on one of them dating sites that foreigners frequent,
Yes.
there's a reason for that.
No,
I,
but
you know,
what if you were going to meet her in person, as in not online and so forth? Now, how would the situation change if that person that you're meeting is financially secure? Will that dynamics change now?
well, I don't know, but I'm kind of talking about that on my video today about
Mm.
offline dating over here versus online dating.
Yeah.
With online dating, guys, I'm gonna tell you that's not the typical Filipino, in my opinion. Okay, my perspective. What I'm seeing is the women online they make it seem so easy. Filipinos aren't that easy, man. They're not difficult, but they're not that easy. You're more than likely going to really find the woman of your dreams if you come over here and meet her face to face versus meeting her online because you're limiting yourself online. There's only so many women online, and you already know up front her crystal clear motives. You know, so if you take a risk and come over here and meet a woman on the street, is she still gonna want you for a better life? Probably, but at least you know it's a better what's the word I want to use? It's a better
Calvin,
starting point, man. That
Cal-
that online, just now that I look back on it, man, hindsight is always 2020. It's just not a good starting point. I'm skeptical of women that are so easy. I'm
Calvin,
skeptical of that.
hey Calvin. It seems to me a woman of a Filipina that has means, has money, is successful. Okay, it seems to me that we talk about reputation. For a lot of Filipinas, the reputation of the Filipino man leads them to look for a foreigner. Okay, a lot of it, a lot of that.
Really know. I do know that there's celebrities over here. A lot of them.
Yeah,
People have money. They've married foreigners, and now they move to like Australia, England, America, and they start their lives over as just a regular citizen. But they're celebrities here, so I don't know. I don't know what the Filipinos thinking. I don't know what they thinking in their mind. I just tell you what I'm seeing. I'm saying these Filipinos that you meet online, man, they're making it seem too easy. Filipinos aren't that easy. Okay.
Hey,
That's
let
the
me
way
let
it's
me
played.
let me ask a really quick.
Anybody that's online right now talking and chatting, meeting these women, it's not that easy, guys. When you come over here and you meet a Filipino, a typical Filipino, it's not difficult, but man, they make it easy online because they've got motives. They got motives, and they're crystal
absolutely.
clear. The women online, man, it's too easy, and that should make you skeptical. Now, if you
All
like
right.
these,
Let me ask you guys a question. Have any of you guys ever gone out like to one of the casinos when they have the ballroom dancing night, and you see these older Filipinos with money paying these young guys to dance with them?
Yep,
Have any of y'all ever seen that?
yep.
absolutely.
That's where you meet women with money. That's where you meet women with money.
Yeah, but here's the thing,
One
Frank.
of the places.
The women that got money here, they date the good-looking young Filipino man. They don't date the foreigner.
And they will date a handsome foreigner also.
Yeah,
Okay,
but how many
especially
handsome,
once they
how
find
many
out
handsome
that you
70,
got money.
how many handsome 73-year-old foreigners do you know? I'm
Man,
just
I'm
saying,
67 myself.
yeah.
I'm
They
72.
gonna work right there in the yellow shirt, waving his hand.
Let's be honest
Hey,
now.
hey, you talking to me? You talking to me? I mean, are you really talking to me?
I'm just being honest. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. My last
If you
landlord,
suave,
okay,
if you
she
have a
was 46.
conversation,
She was 46 and she had money. Well, because her foreigner left her money. She didn't go to another foreigner. She came and got a 17-year-old Filipino man
Mm-hmm.
because their number one choice, Filipinos are no different than anybody else. If they have their choice, they want a Filipino man. Just like black women want a black man, white women want a white woman, Japanese women want a Japanese. Filipinos are no different. They're the same
hold
way.
on. Time out. Look, Cal, you, me, all of us, okay? We are exotic to these women. We are not what they are used to, and people love things that are exotic to them. It is nice to have something that is different than what everybody else has. It gives them status.
Yep, there you go. That's a part of the equation.
Okay.
But not to all. But not to all. It's just not the
Yeah,
same.
But
No.
see, here's the thing, though. It's such a small percentage that you really can't say it's something that's normal over here. You can't say it's something that's in the culture because it's so few that do it. It's so few that do it.
Am I different?
yeah, but there's more that think about it than do it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. That's the point I'm making in my video. You can come over here and there's more women offline than online. No, she doesn't have the flashing red light over her head that says, hey, I date foreigners. I'm interested in a foreigner, but you'll never know. unless you're willing to take that risk and come over here instead of, because guy asked me, he said, what's the best dating site to meet a woman? I said, they're all the same. The same women are on all the dating sites. He said, well, what about Christian
Still the
Cupid or
same.
whatever he said? I said, they're all Christians over here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's got Christian in front. It's the same women in that pool over there. Do something different. You've heard the saying, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Well, online dating is easy over here. And that's why everybody's doing it. Do something different. Do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Get offline. Come over here. Dust off your courage. Okay?
Hey,
And
Calvin,
take
all
some
these
risk over here.
Calvin,
This
all
is the
these
easy way.
Calvin, all these women online are putting their best foot forward. You don't know what that person's like.
I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, what I've experienced.
Yeah.
They're making it easy though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what best foot they're putting forward. They're
Yeah.
not that easy when you get over here and meet the typical Filipino. They're not that easy. When you meet these women online, man, it's so easy. You just come up to them and push them like this, and they fall down, and all their clothes come off, and they're ready to do everything, and you just met them. I don't care how long you done chatted online. And if Gail is honest, even though he's a preacher, he knows that the first day he got over here, they didn't sleep in separate beds. I'm sorry, Gail. And I'm not trying to make you an example, but you are a religious man. But you're not subhuman. You're a human being.
Calvin, I
Calvin,
will
I used to have the
defer
same
to your
argument.
boots on the ground, bro.
Hey, I
When
used to
you
have
get
the same
over here,
argument with
man,
guys in Abu Dhabi.
when you get over here, dude,
Now,
and the woman you
Cal,
met online, you just go like that, and she's gonna fall out naked, and all you got to do is just, that's
Well,
it.
we'll see.
Calvin, I must admit, when I came over here, I had an advantage. I had a Filipino friend, all right, that is a millionaire in US dollars, not Filipino dollars, all right? And he threw me a party, okay? And at the party, there was models, politicians, and stuff like that at the party. So it gave me a big advantage in understanding how the upper crust works. And that's what made the difference in my thinking.
Okay, but
Me going out with
you
a
married
guy,
a woman.
we would
Now,
go to the hotel where he's throwing a party, and when we get ready to leave, let me finish. He's giving out 1,000 peso bills to everybody that worked the party. So you
Okay.
get to meet different people like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Now, I've grown to respect Lilibet, and I know she's a great woman on her channel, but you didn't marry in the upper crust. From what she said, she don't have a job.
She did. I don't want her to work.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
make
saying,
enough money.
was
If
she the
she
upper
doesn't have
crust?
to, we're going into business when we leave here. And we're going to come back here and we're going to build a housing development.
And I wouldn't doubt that. I know I wouldn't doubt it, but what I'm saying is you learned all of that, but then you just married the typical Filipino, which is what most of us do. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Not typical. Because
well,
our thinking is
I'm
the same.
saying,
You see, that's the thing. In meeting someone who thinks the same way that you think and that they're willing to follow. Now, with a lot of the girls that I met that were like models here and stuff like that, they had their nose up in the air when it came to the poor Filipinos. I didn't like that. I don't like anybody that sticks their nose up to poor people. I don't like that. And I don't want them around me.
Yeah. I haven't had that experience. I've never met a woman over here that was up in the upper class, never even in the middle class. I'm just saying that just hasn't been my experience, so I don't talk about stuff like that.
Hey, I have a question. Does anybody on this panel consider themselves typical?
Well, whether you think so
No.
or not, you know.
No, I mean we're all unique individuals, and I have a little bit of a problem with that term typical, because
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
for
We're
example,
not.
yeah, I know what you're saying, Calvin. But for example, I think that I just have a little bit of a problem with what is typical, because I don't think of myself as being typical,
Well,
and
I don't
any of these guys who are in the Philippines, including
Yeah.
yourself, obviously you being in the Philippines means that you're not typical.
It's not a put down word. It's just a lot of the words that we use, they have different meanings, Frank. Okay, you're not a celebrity. You're not a celebrity. You were on the hamster wheel for 45 years. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You're no different than a lot of the other men that come over here. All right. And so when I said that Lilibet was typical, I didn't mean it as a put down. I'm just saying that her lifestyle was not a lot different from the other Filipinas that I've met over here. That's not a put down. Typical has a lot of different meanings. But again, you have to put
I never said it was a put down. That's why I explained it's about mindset. It's about what a mate is willing to go along with. And everybody does
Exactly.
not fit everybody. So you have to find
Right, but-
someone that fits you mentally for y'all to be able to work together.
Yep.
Well, but see, Frank, you're saying two different things. You're saying, oh, when I came over here, I was introduced to this high crust people, the guys giving out $1,000 bills at the end and blah blah this and blah blah that.
And that's
But then you marry Lilibet.
I think Frank was just saying he's been exposed to
No,
that
you
level.
you can't speak for Frank. We heard what he said, Dana.
no,
Okay.
he's telling the truth though. That's all I'm saying. I've been exposed to this. Whereas I
Okay.
heard you say, just like when I was telling you once, the brothers need to bring their golf clubs and go golfing while they're here. And you said, and this is not a personal attack, but just listen to me. And you said no. And I'm saying, if you want to meet women who have money, go golfing. It's a bunch of women here that golf, and they are good. Will beat your behind, okay? But you have to do these different things to get into different circles to learn
Right.
how
But
things
we don't
run
come over
here,
here.
who you
We don't
need
come here to
talk
meet women with money,
to get
Frank.
things done.
But we don't come here to meet women with money. You're talking to the wrong audience, is all I'm saying. Nobody wants to come
No,
over here and meet a woman with money.
Not
Who wants to-
everybody. Not
But listen,
everybody.
no, but listen. Who wants to come over here and go and have to deal with the same things? Because the higher class, the more money they got,
It's
the more likely they're going to act like the women that you're leaving over there. You can't name
not
me five
necessarily
guys that
so.
came over here. Name me five guys that you know that came over here to meet women with money, and I'll name you 5,000 that
Most
did.
of the guys that most of the guys that I knew, that's the part of what I was trying to tell you. I came here to meet Filipino friends who used to live in the United States. They came back. They retired in the United States, came back here and
Okay.
invested their money and started building things. These guys are rich here now. And that's what gave me a different insight as to how I look towards the Philippines and how I deal with things here. Because here, money talks, BS walks. When you got money, you can get things done here. You don't have no money, you can't get nothing done.
But what's that got to do with why we come over here and what type of women we're looking for?
If you're trying to get away from stubborn, hard-headed women that don't want to go along with the program, You can find women over here that will go along
And
with the
that's why we
program.
come. And that's why we come, Frank. That's why we
Calvin,
come. You're exactly
Right.
right. But we don't come for money. We don't
Calvin,
come for money. Because
I
if
gotta
you
go.
come to the Philippines, listen, anybody that's watching this video right now, watch this live stream. If you come to the Philippines looking for a woman with money, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I'm sorry. A needle in 10,000 haystacks. This is not the place to come looking for women with money. Now, if you want to come and meet a loyal, devoted, beautiful, intelligent woman who's going to, be your partner, be your companion. Okay, this is a great place. But if you come in here to meet a woman with money, it's not a great place to come. I'm sorry.
But,
Calvin,
remember, Calvin, I did not say that I came here to meet women with money. I came here to meet friends who were very successful here. And they introduced me to women with money.
What
There's
you
a
said,
big
if we
difference.
want to, you
Come
said
with
if
me.
we
I
want,
wasn't looking for women when I came here.
you said if we want to meet a woman with money, go golfing, go to the ball dancing. But guys don't want to
Yes.
come here. That's not why we come here. Not on my channel. On this other channels, maybe, Frank, but on this is a blue collar, boots on the ground
And
channel,
this is
man.
not about
You don't come over here to
what I'm
go
saying. It has
golfing.
nothing to do with your channel.
It does. Because there's a certain people who look at my channel. They look at it because they can relate to me. I'm just a blue collar
Okay.
individual. I'm just a regular Joe. They know
I
that I'm
bow
not
down,
going
Calvin. It's
I'm not
your
going
channel. I bow down.
I'm not going ball dancing.
Yeah, but most of those women that have money is not gonna deal with you anyway. So
Exactly.
they're not.
Calvin,
They don't even look for you. They look for other Filipino guys or other foreigners that's on a higher status.
I
If you
gotta
look at
go.
the actors that have gotten married, you can see that. And I'm telling it because I used to have the same argument with people in Abu Dhabi, and I tell everybody, if you really want to challenge that, go hang out in BGC, Fort Beneficial, in the global city in Makati, and try to date the women there, and then you will see the difference and see how they will acknowledge you.
On that note,
Yeah,
y'all,
but see,
y'all,
this is what Phil Hines is saying. He's saying exactly what you just said, Victor. He
I'm telling you,
said, fly to
I know
travel to
because I do it
Manila,
myself, so I know.
stay in BGC, Alabang, and Das
Yeah.
Marinas Village, and try to date those women. They're not
Try
going
to
to give
date
you
them.
the time of the day.
Santa Rosa to Gig City. Try to date those women in those cities that actually got money. Because I go to the grocery stores and I see women pulling up in AMG Mercedes. Try to date those women and see.
Yeah, see, but, here it is right here. There is an exception, guys. There is an exception. But my channel is about the rule. Because if you come over here trying to be the exception or looking for the exception, you're going to have a hard time in the Philippines.
You're going
You
to go
might,
home disappointed.
don't disappoint yourself.
Get your feelings hurt.
Uh, does it happen? Yeah, there's a guy who's married to Poke Wong. She's like a celebrity over here. He's just a regular white guy, really. I mean, they came over. He was nothing in the United States. He came over here and she found him attractive. Got him some jobs in the television business and stuff like that. Now they're married. I think they got one or two children. It happens, guys.
It's
But
very
will it
rare.
happen for you? Probably not. So why would I talk about that stuff? That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to talk about the exception.
Calvin, you're just outstanding in your field. You're just outstanding in your field. take that however you like. I sort of defend Calvin from this perspective. He and I don't see perfectly eye to eye on every single issue. His experience is his experience. My experience is my experience. Everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different. Remember, we have 259 people watching this, and everybody has their own viewpoint. But welcome to Calvin's channel, where Calvin is going to share his perspective and his, so let's all, have a little bit of respect.
In, Calvin. Calvin, reel us in, buddy.
I mean, thank you, Gail. I don't know why I have to argue with people on something such a basic principle as that. If it's like people like, well, Calvin, you don't want nobody else's viewpoint. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't want to argue. Why should I argue on my channel? I don't get it. So that's why I don't do it.
Reel us in, Calvin. Reel us in, buddy.
The debate is interesting, but you can't accuse anybody of not knowing anything. I mean, we all have our own knowledge, our own experience, and we're experts in our own field. That's why I said, Calvin, you're outstanding in your own field.
Exactly. We all are. Now, he says Gail is so chill, a better person can't be stressed out around him. But Gail just told you earlier, you must have joined the live stream late. He told you that they can get him pretty stressed over here.
Yeah. My wife knows better than to send me on any missions, because she knows she knows what can potentially happen. I had a brawl out with the manager of the BDO here a few weeks ago. So.
See, I used to do that early. I don't do that anymore because I know it is what it is. I used to do that same thing, man. I mean, I would argue at the hotel, at the bank, at the restaurant. Now I don't even argue because I know what it is. It's a whole different reality over here, man. I tell you.
Well, I will tell all you younger men that you'll live longer if you take that philosophy.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't argue anymore over here. But let me say this. This is kind of piggybacking on what we're talking about my channel. The only reason, guys, that my channel has gained the traction that it has is because y'all relate to the stuff I'm saying. I'm not giving you some earth-shattering news. You see a guy, just a regular guy, really, from America, ex-insurance agent who never really earned, I wasn't a millionaire or nothing. I earned good money. And you see the life I'm living over here, and you're thinking, oh, well, hell, he can do it. I can do it. So I just share my experiences with you to kind of inspire you to look at your options. The Philippines could be a good option for you. You
inspired me, Calvin.
Is it ever... is it going to be a perfect fit for everybody? No. But I'm giving you my boots on the ground experience. You can't argue with that. I'm sorry, you can't. And when you get over here, you're going to see something different. But the only reason is because y'all relate. Y'all tired of that rat race over there. You're tired of the hamster wheel. Yep. You're tired of being undervalued, underappreciated. And you want to go somewhere where you're celebrated. I'm telling you that, hey, look, they celebrate me over here. Look at my life over here. This could be your life. That's all I do, guys. That's it. Some of y'all like that. Some of y'all want to be the exception. Some of y'all want to say, hey, well, my life's not like yours. Okay, that's fine.
Just give me some peace, okay?
NZ Volva. Why isn't there any chimneys in the Philippines? Well, hell, it's hot over here. I don't think they do that.
Now, there's somebody that's been to the Philippines before. Now, there's somebody that's been to the Philippines before.
But maybe they,
That's a good
I
one.
don't know. Maybe they've got them in, maybe they got them in Baguio or somewhere. I don't know.
Possibly.
Because Filipinos get cold. If it gets
Lord.
75 degrees, they're cold. He laughed at this. That was the comment of the year, I guess. Well, he said, where did Rudy go? Rudy told me that he's kind of going through it, with his girl right now and all of that.
Yeah, because he's going through that vetting process. He's starting to find out the truth.
I think Moochie T needs to start his own channel because anything I say, he pushes back up against it. They say that 1 out of 5 people, new marriages, meet online, okay? So that means 4 out of 5 don't, Moochie T. And I'm telling you that, in my opinion, just my perspective, that 1 out of 5 that meet online and get married, I'm going to say 1 out of 5 probably lasts toward past 5 years. It's just my perspective. Is that true? I have no idea. But there's just not a whole lot of depth there. But
And who cares? You should do what you want to do. Why is
just
he
do
worried
what you
about all
want
that?
to do. Yeah, and that's the whole point, guys. I could care less why you come over here. I just start the conversation. I bring up topics like that to get you talking, not to argue with you. I want to get the conversation started. Why are you here? I'm not telling you why you're here. Okay? I'm saying that a lot of the guys that I talk to, like my buddy John, he'll tell you, I came over here for the women. That's what he told me. I didn't say it.
You are the facilitator.
That's all. That's all I am, Dana. But yeah,
Tell me,
guys,
Calvin, tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that?
I can't hear it.
I don't know what's wrong. I'm trying to play your recording, but it won't let me play it for some reason.
Yeah. But anyway, my manicurist is in here now, and she only comes like once a month. I got to get my foot scrubbed, guys. I want to thank my panel members. I'm gonna give all of y'all the last word before we get off here. But thank y'all for your super chats, your super stickers, your thumbs up, all your support, man. I'm speeding fast toward 27,000 subscribers. I was just at 25,000. I guess I've hit some type of YouTube algorithm or something, but I'm almost at 27,000 already.
Yay!
So go ahead, Frank, you and Elizabeth, give us some parting thoughts.
Come here, enjoy yourself. You'll love it.
You got anything, Elizabeth? What's your next video?
Just
Lilibet?
check it out my channel, Lilibet Page channel, and I will upload more videos tomorrow.
So you didn't see her last one, where she was riding her bike and she was telling everybody to come to your channel?
Hey, thank you, Link 1111 for the super chat. He says, for me, Pumpkin Joe, Cliff, Jay, Bruce, and the black man in the village. One voice. Thank you. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, Dana, give us some good travel information before we get off here.
Never, ever buy your tickets in less than 21 days before you plan to travel.
Wow. Wow. See, that's good information right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else? When is travel prices, you think? How long is it going to be after the pandemic before you think the prices will get back to normal?
Well, I think, see, that's a hard question to answer because the end of the pandemic is indeterminate. We don't know. But I will tell you that I think that we're going to see the airlines go to a pure vaccinated policy. So they'll be flying people who are, vaccinated at first only. So if you've already got all your vaccinations and your booster, you will be able to travel just as soon as the pandemic is safe enough to travel. So, get your house in order to be able to travel.
What you got, Gail, for us? What's coming up?
Well, I just ask everybody to subscribe to my G5 News channel. Just like I said earlier, it's a 8 to 10 minute news update from the Philippines for American, catered to Americans. But other than that, as I said earlier, coming here, living here, it's a choice. It's not for everybody. It's absolutely not for everybody. But I can honestly say after 4 years, I have no desire to leave. I have no pull back to the U.S. I stay in good contact with all my family online. So I'm as happy as I can be.
Hey, that's great commentary right there. I'm right there with you too, Gail. Thank you for your time. Okay, Vic, Kandari TV, what you got going on, brother?
Oh, nothing much. Just working on my business. I just hired 2 more people last week, and same thing like Gail said. It's a choice for everybody. For me, same thing. I've been married 10 years, and I'm permanently moved here. And I love it, and I have the same plan. I would not be going back to the States unless it's an emergency, anything like that. But yeah, man, I'm having a good time. I'm very comfortable here, so I'm loving it. My wife is happy, the family is happy, so yeah, everything is good. 2022, and we're gonna get it in.
Amen to that.
Right. Thank y'all again. And on the
All
subject,
right.
when you come over here, guys, have a plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether you're coming here for 2 weeks, 2 months, or the rest of your life, have a plan, and include in that plan something in case of an emergency.
Right. Yep.
Always check that box with the travel insurance. Pay that extra $50.
Mm-hmm.
Get a checkup before you come here.
Yep.
Don't blame it on the Filipino food and water and all that. You might be sick already.
Right.
But just use your common sense that made you guys, some of you guys that watch this channel are insanely successful. You're not typical, Dana, okay? Just use that same common sense when you come over here, guys. But okay, take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.